TG Geeks, episode 403, November 31st, 31st, that's what I wrote, 2022, on the road again. Hello and welcome to another webcast from tggeeks.com, where Ben and Keith, the two gay geeks, talk about all aspects of Geek-dom and Nerd-ery, sci-fi, comics, film, horror genre. You name it, we talk about it. I'm Keith Lane. We're coming to you from TG Squared Studios in lovely, it has gotten cool, Phoenix, Arizona. Finally, hooray!
Yes, and I'm Ben Raginson, also coming to you from... Are we in Phoenix? Are we in L.A.?
Yeah.
I don't know anymore.
It's 52 degrees out right now.
Oh, yeah. Cold.
That's cold. Everybody get their parkas out. Nanook of the North. Let's get on with it.
Prepare for hyperdrive.
Meanwhile, in the Hall of Episodes, the two gay geeks are discussing this.
Being a bit of an eager beaver on that button.
Tim acted real quickly there.
Yes, he did.
He came in too soon. Well, in this episode, we're going to talk about stuff. And more stuff. And more stuff. Then we'll
Basically, it's us.
It's us. Birthday shout-outs, featured podcast of the week, and feedback this time that we didn't get to last time. Do our regular shout-outs. We might have something in the second segment if we have some time. Our Wacky Weekly recap, and then our regular shout-outs. So let's just get right to it. Does this thing go on forever? Good God Almighty!
You're the one who bought the little jingle. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
It's
There's
over.
the end of it. Finally, gee, Merry Christmas. Well, we are
We're time shifting
again.
Yep.
So this is Thursday night that we're recording this. We're getting ready to go over to Los Angeles for the American Film Market, where Patricia Chica and Sophia Beneluan are there, representing us and representing herself at the American Film Market. It's an annual event where buyers and exhibitors and all kinds of people in the film industry get together and share ideas, and people buy options on films and buy films outright.
Yeah, it's more. It's not just a film festival,
right? And we're also there because Montreal Girls is going to have its showing at the Los Angeles International Film Festival on Sunday. So we're excited to be there for that. So that there's some interesting things going on this weekend.
It's going to be a busy weekend for us.
We will be involved in. Maybe meet some other people and have some interviews coming up. You never know.
Yeah, I
and
hope so.
Get to see Montreal Girls and some of the Canadian people that financed the group and or financed this film, and then we'll share with you what we learned at that point. We've got anything else you wanted to say about that?
And, well, it's kind of a new thing for us.
Yeah,
I'm excited about it because I have absolutely no idea what we're going to see, what we're going to experience.
Yeah, we were there one night a couple of years ago, and that was at that party that we went
for
to
Epic Studios.
Yeah, Epic Studios, and that was just part of the American Film Market.
That was the party, though.
Yes, it was the
and
party.
And it was a lot of fun, and some good things did come out of that. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we'll get. How can I put this? That we
More
will see
contacts, shall we say.
Yeah, okay, that's a good way of putting it. I was trying to think of something else to say. Like it might reap more rewards for us this time around, because
You never know.
So I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Yeah. And we want to let you know about some things that we have run on the website for press releases and the upcoming releases. Interestingly enough, the 3 that I put down here are all Disney related.
Imagine that.
We get a lot of stuff from Disney right now, and we get stuff from other studios, but primarily right now it's been a lot of Disney. They're releasing a lot of things.
They're
right now.
very busy right now. I mean, between movies as well as the Disney Plus, and they're
Exactly.
programming a lot of content for Disney Plus now.
Oh,
this
yeah.
gives them a lot of areas by which to peddle their wares, shall we say?
and sort of makes them feel justified in raising their price.
Raising rates. Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to go into the underside of that just
Yeah.
now.
We're not going to do the underbelly of that.
No, not yet.
Not yet. Not until we start screaming about it.
Yeah.
One of the things that really has me excited is Strange World. It's
I'm
coming on
so
November 23rd.
jazzed for
I
this
am
one.
Really excited about this one. The artwork that they've used and the way they've been selling it. This is a throwback
Very retro.
to the 50s.
Like that whole Amazing Stories kind of thing.
Yeah.
That you would see. I mean, even from the way they marketed it,
Exactly.
it felt like you were looking at basically animation out of one of those old Forrest J. Ackerman publications.
Exactly.
It looks fantastic, and I'm very much looking forward to that.
Yeah, and then also on November 18th, there is Disenchanted.
I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah,
This feels kind of weird to me.
I'm not sure how I feel about it either.
I liked
it's-
Enchanted. I thought it was clever.
Yeah,
But I'm wondering if this is something by which you can actually, go to the well more than once.
right. Yeah, I think they're. Yeah, it's just.
It feels like a stretch.
Says it's the all-new musical comedy and sequel to Enchanted. And let's see, it's been more than 10 years since Giselle and Robert wed, but Giselle has grown disillusioned with life in the city, so they move their growing family to the sleepy suburban community of Monroeville in search of more fairy tale life.
Yeah, that's a synopsis I read too, and I thought, okay.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
But the prince, he's coming back,
Yep.
as well as the lady that he took as his wife. They're coming back. So I don't know.
Yeah, and
This
it held.
is gonna be strange.
Let's see. So original cast members: Amy Adams, Patrick Dempsey, Adele Dazeem, and James Marsden.
Adele Dazeem.
Oh, Idina Menzel. Sorry,
You have your wrong glasses on?
I do. I forgot to put my glasses on.
That is okay.
Not going to let that one rest anytime soon.
that is
That was
never
the
going
biggest
away.
screw up ever.
We're holding on to that one,
How
Mr.
the hell do you
Travolta.
get Adele Dazeem?
From Idina Menzel. I know now. Wow, I know. That's a mind blower. Yeah. I'm sorry. We're holding on to that one.
Yeah. And then on November 30th, Willow,
Now,
which is much.
I've not seen the trailer yet. You watched it.
And
you seemed kind of a little beshmeckled by it.
It was odd, to say the least. I was. It didn't draw me in. I mean, yeah, it's the same character, but there's additional characters and there's, I don't know.
Well, until I see it myself, until I see the trailer for myself, I have no way of knowing. I am curious because I do like Warwick Davis.
Yes.
And I thought he was fantastic in the movie.
Yeah.
So I'm hopeful that he can, pull some of that same energy that he had for the movie and use it for this series.
Yeah.
I'm also really curious as to how they're going to bring back Mad Mardigan because, oh God, the actor's name just went right out of my head. But he, I can't think of his name anymore.
Yeah, him.
Him. But he suffered, I think it was throat cancer.
Right.
So he cannot speak.
Well, maybe he's going to be a non-speaking role.
I don't know. That wouldn't be quite the same because he was a very snarky guy.
Yep. Yeah, the trailer just looked a little unusual to me, but I watched it in the middle of doing a million other things, so I didn't focus my whole attention on that trailer. So, who
Val
knows?
Kilmer.
Val Kilmer, yeah. So I don't know. We'll see what happens in on November 30th. It's supposed to be a series.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I didn't check how many episodes it was supposed to be.
Can they parlay a film into multiple episodes, 30 years later
and
or 40 years
later?
later?
And I hate to sound negative, but just because Disney is doing it does not mean it's a sure thing.
No, it does not.
They've had misfires.
Absolutely. So that's those are a couple of things. Anything that you have that you want to say that is coming out soon? Or
no. Well, the only other thing
that was exciting.
Avatar.
I chose not to put that on the list, but
Yeah,
you can talk about it since you've seen. I haven't seen it, so.
Oh, you mean Dances with Wolves in Space? Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna borrow something from Devette C. Something she said regarding a movie she reviewed last year. When I look at Avatar, it's really pretty.
Exactly. And that's all I'm going to say.
That's pretty much all I can say about it. It looks really pretty. I got nothing else on that one. I mean, I don't know if they can they actually come up with an original story idea? I don't think so.
I don't know.
I saw the trailer.
I thought
for the next film, and it still feels like it's that white man trying to displace Native American Indian story.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I don't need to see that again.
Yeah. Oh well, we want to give a shout out to an independent creator, Jake Shandy, who is a fabulous artist. I mean, he has multiple web series going on at any one time, and I'm really enchanted with his.
I love his artwork.
His artwork, the Battleborn
that's really
saga
good stuff.
is really good
stuff.
Some of his other stuff and some of his fan art, and he has personally said that he is not a fan of picking up a book that's part of a series until the series is completely done, because he doesn't want to get in the middle of a series and have the writer stop writing. But he picked up.
You hear that, George R. R. Martin?
the tarot sequence.
Oh, he couldn't help himself.
Created some incredible fan art for the tarot sequence,
and that's a credit to Katie Edwards. Katie's writing is so inspirational that you cannot help go on social media, and you follow him on Twitter, and you are going to see just this plethora of amazing artwork. And Jake Shandy's is right there, among the top with the rest of them. His stuff is amazing to look at. And he gives what to me is like the definitive Adam St. Nicholas, just amazing artwork. So I love to see what he's going to do next.
Go look him up on Patreon. He had actually some supporters that dropped out this last month, and I know budgets are tight, but you can do as little as $1 or $5. I mean, we give him a significant amount every month. I think the highest tier that he has just to support him, but he is a great artist and does a lot of things for his Patreon subscribers. I mean, just the 3 series that he's running right now are
they're amazing.
Yeah, you get an early look at that. Another independent creator that we want to give a shout out is to our very own Tommy Cannon.
I just love this guy.
Tommy,
he's awesome.
I've not said it enough. We really, really, really appreciate what you do for us and all of the things that you do. I mean, he's got several things going, at one time. He's got the Nerdy Chupacabras. He's got, Fred the Mustard Packet, which has been going on for years, and it's just hilarious. He's actually in Grape Soda City now, and but Tommy does a number of other things as well as improv and puppets and this and that and the other, go look him up on Patreon. He's, I think his highest level is like $5 a month. So.
He's enormously talented.
Yeah.
And not just I keep thinking back to the way he was, of what he was doing at our table at Phoenix Fan Fusion.
Oh my gosh. It was incredible. We've talked about it before, but he had these 3 decks of cards, and you had to pick one card from each pile. So one was the monster.
Character.
Yeah, the monster character. And the other one was a situation. And the third one was...
Like a location?
A location. And he would create He
would draw something.
He would draw something in, what was it, 5 minutes or 10 minutes?
I don't even think it was that. I think
3
it was
minutes?
less. I think it was 3.
Yeah, something like that. It was amazing, the things that he did. And he never knew what came up because he'd shuffle the cards. Mm-hmm. So it was truly amazing.
I think it was fun for him as well. I think he loved being challenged like that.
Yeah.
Because he really wanted people to come to our table and to engage in that monster challenge. He loved it when they did that. And I keep getting a chuckle how Anthony Rapp from Star Trek Discovery came to our table. He didn't realize that was Anthony Rapp. And he goes ahead and he just draws this thing. Anthony draws 3 cards and Tommy goes to town and just does his lovely little comical illustration and gives it to Anthony. And then we tell him later, that was Anthony Rapp. He says, "Oh, what? That was Anthony Rapp? If I had known that, I wouldn't have been able to do that."
Yeah, and we have a bunch of other people that we support through various means. Duncan's books and more.
Oh yeah,
just other people that are out there, and just because I didn't name you doesn't mean that you're slighted or anything. We'll get around to you. But we'd like to support those independent creators that are out there, and especially the ones that we know well, and do whatever we can to support them. On a kind of a sad note, I want to send out a shout out and some condolences to Suzanne Brockman and our friend Jason Gaffney. And Jason has done a number of things, and what were the... Oh gosh, there was, what was it? Perfect Wedding.
Yeah, we saw him in Perfect Wedding. We saw him in Analysis Paralysis as well as Out of Body.
Out of Body.
And pretty soon, he's working on post-production right now for the Deku series Marriage of Inconvenience.
Yes. And then Suzanne Brockman is his mother. They lost a family member to Alzheimer's, but it was his death was exacerbated or brought on by COVID. He had Alzheimer's and was extremely fragile, and then caught COVID, and unfortunately, but he was in his 90s too. So that he lived a nice long life, but there's no reason.
It's never easy.
Yeah, it's never easy. So our condolences to San and Jason. They're both wonderful people.
2 of them are they're just the loveliest people you can ever want to meet.
Yeah. And the last thing we didn't
get to talk about this.
I don't know why we didn't talk about it.
We didn't. Well, because we were focused on the cruise, in our last, in our last episode.
Yeah.
But before we did the cruise,
so 2 things. I want to say a shout out to Neil and Jana Halford. Right. Jana, who is currently undergoing some chemo, was actually having a good day on Saturday, and
thankfully
they met us for tea in La Mesa. And
I had a wonderful time.
It was wonderful. We spent a couple of hours with them just chatting, and she was in good spirits.
Yes.
Everybody was, it was so wonderful to see them. And
it really was.
And it was really nice. And then on Sunday, we were actually supposed to connect with Mark Biaggi, but he had told me that he was actually going to be emceeing the San Diego WhoCon. So we said, okay, we don't have anything else to do.
Well, when we were having tea with Neil and Jana, we made mention of that, and and Neil was the one who confirmed, oh, it's a small con. Now, I had it in my head that this was going to be like a big, massive event, especially given the fact that Sunday was also going to be the final episode with Jodie Whittaker.
Right.
As
And
the
we
doctor.
actually saw that while we were there.
Right.
So it was
So,
kind of
but I
neat.
just assumed it was going to be this big, huge event, like Gallifrey 1. And
No.
Neil said, "Oh no, it's a very small event." And he said, 80 people. I went, 80 people?
Yeah.
So I sent a message to Mark and said, Neil's just telling us that this is a really small con. Is that the case? And he says, "Oh man, if we had 80 people that day, it would have been a miracle." And
Yeah.
so we decided to check it out.
It was nice. I mean,
I liked it.
It was very relaxing. They had some great vendors.
Yeah, I got my Doctor Who scarf.
Yay! And we got some really good artwork. There was a guy that
Oh yeah.
did all of the doctors and one of their main villains from their series that a side by side of drawing of each one of them, and the guy is really
Quite
good.
talented.
There was a bunch of other vendors there. We went to a couple of panels.
The panels were great.
Yeah, and
I mean, they got
had
some really, just very well-educated people.
exactly.
In various scientific fields, and in some case medical fields, to run these panels that all tied into Doctor Who, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, and then we got to visit with a bunch of people that, some people that we knew and some people that we, it was surprisingly one of the people at the registration desk we had met at WhedonCon.
I know,
and
imagine that.
He had one of our wristbands.
He remembered us.
And remembered
I was
us.
floored.
So it was really kind of neat.
And we bumped into Jesse Merlin.
Yeah.
From Beyond the Gates.
As well as many other
things. But we met him through Beyond the Gates.
Right.
And it was so funny because I kept thinking, he looks oddly familiar. He was wearing a mask. We were wearing masks. Because, it was a smart thing to do. And all of a sudden he turns around and he points at me and he says, "Ben and Keith?" And I went, "Wow."
Wow.
The fact that he pulled that one out was a real surprise.
Exactly.
But, we palled around with him a bit during, throughout the day. And it was just such a joy being able to see him, as well as being able to have a chance to visit with Mark when he showed up.
Yep, we got a chance to do that and visit with some other people too, and then watch the
and
episode.
then watch the episode, which was I liked it. I liked it.
Oh, and before that, they did a sketch
God.
comedy thing, which was D&D meets Doctor Who. So they had Doctor Who characters that were in a D&D campaign. And they rolled this big die, and it was kind of a crazy thing, but it was a lot of fun. It was an improv thing.
It was pretty mad.
Yeah, it was an improv deal. And then we watched the episode, and we had a great time.
I really enjoyed myself.
And then we went and had some wonderful Chinese food down in Hillcrest.
We need to remember that restaurant the next time we're down there.
More.
I'm
Oh
glad
my
you
gosh,
remember that one.
They really their pot stickers are good.
Yeah, if you're in San Diego,
yeah, their Zhongyopang, which is a
onion cake.
Onion cake is good. Their soup dumplings are fabulous, and they have a little bit thicker skin than what we get here in Phoenix, so it makes them easier to grab with the chopsticks. And then the mapo tofu was really good too.
That was good.
And the noodles were good.
Yes.
So if you're in San Diego in the Hillcrest area, dumplings and more.
You will
really
not be
good
sorry.
Food.
That was
Absolutely
a great restaurant.
Great food.
Yeah, but that was our time in San Diego. I mean, hotel notwithstanding.
Oh
Yeah, and we won't talk about that.
Never again.
Never again at that hotel. But aside from that, I had a really nice time.
Yeah, it was kind of a little vacation before the vacation.
And I mean, I was happy that we could go to the WhoCon. I had no idea. I didn't think we were going to be there the whole day.
I didn't either. I
And-
thought we'd be there for a couple of hours and then say, "Oh my God, we got to go."
We got to go. But one of the nice things, this comes back to something we've talked about, and that's small cons. I think small cons are really underrated.
Absolutely.
Because we've talked about CocoCon, which I had a blast at
Oh yeah.
last September.
I mean, the small cons allow you to really visit with people. Some of the panels can be large, not large by Phoenix Comic-Con or Phoenix Fan Fusion standards by any means, But, if you got 20, 25 people in a panel, that's a pretty large turnout.
That's a good turnout.
But most of the time, it's a handful of people, and it's more like a conversation with the people that are doing the panel. So it's really kind of neat.
And one of the panels we attended at WhoCon was very much like that, where we were able to have this conversation with the panelists, with other guests in the room.
Yeah, exactly.
I had such an enjoyable time.
Yeah, and Hal's trivia. Oh my gosh, that was
at CocoCon?
Crazy trivia.
Oh his Wheel of Fortune trivia.
Wow.
Yeah, that was
what
nuts.
A crazy mess that was, but
That
it was
insane.
fun.
Yeah, I had a great time. It was insane, but had a great time doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the small cons, I think there's a lot to be said about those. I enjoy those a lot, and San Diego, their WhoCon is no exception. That was a great time.
It was. Check out the smaller cons. You won't be disappointed in most cases.
Hey, I'm actor, podcaster, and filmmaker Michael Chan, and you are listening to the Two Gay Geeks.
Well, here's a few selected birthdays for November 7th through November 13th, 2022. And we have to say, we forgot all the friends' birthdays last week, and a few friend birthdays that we missed last week were Jen Hines on the 31st, Jeremy Reisenhoover on November 2nd. I've known Jeremy since second grade.
Right.
Oh my God. I mean, that's 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lazarus Mitchell on November 3rd, Vicki Harrison Parker, who was a classmate of mine, on the 3rd, Jan Dahl on the 3rd, Darren Hagen on the 4th, Tiffany Mangan on the 5th, and Andrew Cash on the 6th. November 7th, Judy Tenuta. Wow. We
just lost her.
We just lost Judy Tenuta. Her birthday would have been the 7th. She's an American actress, comedian, and comedy musician. Apart from performing stand-up comedy, Judy has also written 2 comedy books. Over the years, she has been an ardent supporter of the gay rights and has built a devoted following among the members of the LGBTQ community. She often performs at gay pride, well, not anymore, events and festivals across the United States. And it was just sad. We have
very, very sad.
I guess
we had to take it down.
We have too much stuff on the wall.
Yeah, the studio wall is a little crowded right now.
Yeah, we had a wonderful signed photo that
it was Crazy Joe got for us.
Thank you, Crazy Joe. Joan Sutherland, Australian soprano, was exposed to music as an early age, being the daughter of a singer. Trained in voice and the piano by her mother, she made her debut as Dido in Dido and Aeneas. The first Australian to earn a Grammy, she was also awarded the DBE, which is the Dame of the British Empire.
Mm-hmm.
She actually was the person that discovered Luciano Pavarotti.
She discovered a number of people.
Yeah.
And
her voice was incredible.
It never stopped.
I know.
I mean, even though she stopped the rigors of performing full-length operas as her regular career, she still did recital appearances. And you listen to her sing, and that bel canto voice of hers, she still had it well into her 50s, I think.
Her 60s, yeah.
I mean, I have no idea when she actually retired and stopped singing, but she kept going for quite some time, and that voice was just amazing.
Yep. Also on November 7th, friends of ours, Sungjin Park and Keith Byron. Happy birthday, Keith.
Happy birthday.
November 8th, Alfre Woodward is an American
I love
actress.
her.
Oh my gosh, she is wonderful. Considered one of the most accomplished and versatile actresses of her generation, Woodward was named the New York Times in the New York Times the 25 greatest actors of the 21st century list in 2020. Also a political activist, Woodward is credited with founding Artists for a New South Africa, which aims to advancing equality in South Africa. She's been in so many things. Oh my gosh. A movie that we're going to watch here coming up in the next several weeks, and that is Scrooged.
Oh yes,
She's
wonderful in
She
Scrooged.
is wonderful in Scrooge.
She is.
She was great in the Star Trek.
Oh my God! In First Contact.
In First Contact. Oh yeah.
I remember seeing an interview with Jonathan Frakes. There's this great scene in First Contact where her character and Picard are in the ready room and they're having a rather spicy argument.
Yeah, spicy to say the least.
And Jonathan Frakes said all he had to do was just sit back in his director's chair and let these two masters of the craft go at it. And he said it was a joy for him to watch.
I'm sure it was. She is a great actress.
She's amazing.
Gordon Ramsay, celebrated chef and restaurateur. British national Gordon Ramsay is also a writer and television personality. His TV show about competitive cookery and food is quite popular. The restaurant Gordon Ramsay in Chelsea is his signature restaurant, and he is known for his bluntness, short temper, and strict manner, as well as his colorful metaphors.
You put so much spice in it, people are folding space.
Exactly. And then we have friend of ours, Cynthia Ward, and our niece, Summer Diane Sellers. Happy birthday, Summers. Alexander James Adams. Happy birthday. November 9th, Lou Ferrigno.
Oh, this is another guy I think is just awesome.
Yep, is American actor and retired professional bodybuilder, also known as the original Hulk. Ferrigno is best known for playing the title role on CBS television series The Incredible Hulk after having won Mr. America and Mr. Universe titles. Ferrigno's attempt to beat Schwarzenegger at the Mr. Olympia competition formed the subject of a documentary titled Pumping Iron.
It's a good documentary too.
And didn't they do a cameo of him in She-Hulk?
Lou
just
Ferrigno?
a real quick.
I don't remember, but if you want to see him in something more recent, you can find him in The Offer.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Carl Sagan, billions and billions.
Billions and billions of star stuff.
Pulitzer and Emmy Award-winning astrophysicist and author Carl Sagan was best known for co-writing the TV series Cosmos, A Personal Voyage. His novel Contact was adapted into a film, and a great film. I love that film.
Magnificent movie.
He was known for his extensive research on extraterrestrial life, had taught at major universities, and written countless papers and science books. And then we have friends of ours, Zach Hayhurst, who went up to San Francisco Opera to be part of their team, and Tony Kim.
Happy birthday, Tony.
His Hero Within clothing line is
it's doing really well right now. Yeah. Now that the convention circuit's back, he's the business is quite successful, and I'm so very happy for him.
Yeah, he does produce some great clothing.
Oh God, yeah.
Check out HeroWithin.com. November 10th, Neil Gaiman. Author Neil Gaiman has written numerous novels, short stories, film scripts, and comics. He's won the Hugo, Bram Stoker, and Nebula Awards and the Carnegie and Newbery medals. Some of his best works are American Gods, Stardust, The Graveyard Book, and the comic series The Sandman, and what I would consider one of the best Doctor Who episodes in a very, very long time, The Doctor's Wife. It's
amazing. It changes everything.
It changes everything. It doesn't upend canon.
No.
It just...
It opens it up.
It opens it up, and you say, I understand now. You know?
Yeah.
It was such a wonderful... you have to see
and it has such delightful humor in it, too.
Oh, and the dialogue.
It really is one of my favorite
What does
episodes.
it say on the outside?
It says pull.
And what do?
I push.
Every single time. And that... I won't spoil it if you haven't seen the episode.
It's a must. I love that episode.
It's a must
so
see.
much.
Then we have Hugh Bonneville. Hugh Bonneville is an English actor, best known.
I thought you were going to say he's an ex-English actor.
Yes, for portraying Robert Crawley, Earl of Grantham, in the top popular television series Downton Abbey, for which he received a couple of Primetime Emmy Awards nominations and a nomination at the Golden Globes. He's also received 3 Screen Actors Guild Awards for Downton Abbey. He also, what have we? We've seen him. He kind of turns up in things periodically. what was it recently?
I can't remember what we
There was
recently saw him
something
in.
that we saw him and said,
I know.
"Oh my God, it's a very young Hugh Bonneville."
It was,
I
and
mean,
obviously it was an
like-
older thing, and it's something that we had seen before, I think, but we just never made that connection that it was
Yeah.
him.
Exactly.
I wish I could remember what it was.
Yep. November 11th, Stanley Tucci.
Another actor I just think
Oh my
is
gosh.
awesome.
American actor is known for a string of supporting roles that he's played in many films since his debut in the 1985 film Prizzi's Honor. Some of his notable movies are Deconstructing Harry, Road to Perdition, The Terminal, The Devil Wears Prada, which he was fabulous in,
Wonderful.
Julie and Julia.
He was wonderful in
and
that, too.
The Hunger Games film series. The Devil Wears Prada, and I mean, he and Glenn Close have, is it Meryl Streep?
Meryl
Sorry,
Streep.
Meryl Streep have the best chemistry.
They do.
When they are together.
And they've only done 2 movies together, I,
know,
think.
It's just,
But you would think that just from watching them,
you would think
that
they
they've
were
done more.
married.
I know. And they
They
are
have
good
such great-
friends. They're
yeah.
very good friends, and he's just amazing to watch.
Yeah. Abigail Adams
I love
was
her.
the closest advisor and wife of the second president of the United States, John Adams. She is credited with influencing John Adams in many ways, as the latter often sought the advice of his wife. Adams features prominently in musicals, films, and TV series that discuss her husband. She's been portrayed by the actresses like Laura Linney. Abigail was a force of nature. She truly was.
Yes,
And she corresponded with John
all the time.
all the time. And
I really-
that's how they
I
they
loved
communicated.
how they portrayed her in the HBO series Adams.
Yes.
And Laura Linney did a fantastic job right from the very first episode.
Yep.
You see her critiquing something that John had written.
Yep. Exactly.
Because,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, and she's like, nope, wait, and she's just reading the entire thing.
No,
Which-
no.
But what I loved about it is that it shows how much he respected her.
Exactly.
And those two, and I've said this before with my annual review of 1776. While it's fun to watch the musical movie about the founding of the country, I love to watch it for the love story between John and
They
Abigail.
were so
and they
in love.
so loved each other.
Yes, very much so. And then we have friend of ours, Andrew McDade. We actually
Yes.
sailed with Andrew on the Wonder, which we just sailed on recently. And if you're listening, Andrew, I told Captain Fabian that you are now an engineer, and he said, "Oh, really?"
Oh, you told Captain Fabian?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
nice.
Yeah. I said, "You remember Andrew McDade? He worked in the Cove Bar upstairs and all that." And he said, "Yeah, I think I remember him." I said,
Yeah,
"Well,
wild
he's
Scottish guy.
yeah, he's an engineer now, serving on a ship."
Cool.
That was exciting. November 12th, Megan Mullally, best known as Karen Walker from Will and Grace, a role that earned her 2 Emmys and 3 SAG Awards. She has also hosted the Megan Mullally Show and has been part of series such as Children's Hospital. She and her husband wrote a best-selling book, too. Everyone needs a friend like Karen. Oh, my God.
Like that, Karen?
Take
Oh,
care
dear.
of it for me, Karen. Yes. Then we have Alexander Borodin. He was a Russian musical composer. He was one of the popular 19th century group of musicians known as the Five, which Rimsky-Korsakov and him and Mussorgsky and
I guess Prokofiev has got to be in that mess.
I can't remember. Prokofiev was more 20th century, but he may have been in that as well.
Yeah, it's true. Not Tchaikovsky.
But he was let's see, they were the Five who worked together to create a national style of classical music. A chemist and doctor by profession, Borodin also made an important contributions to organic chemistry. His best known work as a chemist is his work pertaining to organic synthesis. And you may remember, if you've probably heard it, it's the Polovtsian dances from Prince Igor.
Love those.
It's wonderful. If you heard it, you would know it. November 13th, Auguste Rodin. Initially aspiring to be a monk, Auguste Rodin found his true calling when he visited Italy and was awestruck by Michelangelo's creations. His iconic sculptures such as The Thinker and The Age of Bronze are astoundingly lifelike. He breathed magic into nudes and ballerinas made of stone and bronze. Amazing. His work truly is amazing. John Montague. At age 10, John Montague succeeded his grandfather, Edward Montague, as the Earl of Sandwich.
Oh.
The Eton and Cambridge educated statesman had held several important positions, such as the First Lord of the Admiralty, and while gambling, he would often have bread and meat, leading to the delicacy being named sandwich.
Go figure.
Amazing. Imagine that, huh? And then we have good friends of ours, David Lee Summers, and a classmate, Mark Whitman. And that's
Happy birthday
for the birthdays this time.
Technorama, the podcast for geeks, because geeks are better than cool. You don't hear someone say, "Get away from me, you cool person." Who's gonna have their 65-inch home theater system installed by the Cool Squad? Not me, that's for sure. How much cool cred do you have? Not enough to care about. Think you'll find any canned unicorn meat at thinkcool.com? It's just a part domain name. They don't even have roadkill in a paper cup. That's why you need to start listening to Technorama, because that's what geeks do. Go to chuckchat.com and listen to Technorama before you turn cool.
Go listen, give a listen to our friends, our good friends, Chuck and Craig over at Technorama Podcast.
I'm Daniel Radcliffe, and I believe that reaching out for help is the bravest thing a person can do. If you are struggling and need support, call the Trevor Lifeline at 1-866-488-7386. It's free and confidential, and trained counselors are there to listen 24/7 without judgment. To learn more about the Trevor Project's life-saving work for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or questioning young people, go to thetrevorproject.org.
And it's time for our feedback. These are comments that we received in response to an article, because it's just one, that we ran on our website at tggeeks.com. And the link for this specific article will be in the show notes for this episode article, for episode 403, that you can find at tggeeks.com. And this is all regarding TG Geeks episode number 397. We got some thank yous for some birthday shout-outs from Shanta Massin. He says thank you. Ellen Hinkle says thank you. And Jason Drogo also says thank you. Is all their birthdays. We also, in that episode, it was the big spoiler interview that we had with Katie Edwards, where we were going to just spoil everything that we could. Regarding the tarot sequence, got a comment from Hamish Downey. This will force me to start reading this book. Yes, and I hope you're starting with The Last Son.
Yes,
yes, you need to. And believe me, right now there is just this wealth of material from him to read that if you were to start now, Hamish, you would be busy for several months and having the time of your life. Also got a comment from Jessica on Twitter. What a lovely interview. A big thank you to Keith and Ben for putting this together. You did a wonderful job as always.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you. I wasn't expecting to get emotional during a podcast, but leave it to KD to tug on the heartstrings and make me tear up. This was a perfect way to cap off The Hourglass Throne, which is the third book in the tarot sequence. And then we close it off with a comment from Atavaniel, also on Twitter, saying, thank you to KD and TGG for letting us get some, I'm reading it just as it is, for letting us get some questions answered. We got a trove of information and goodness out of that. Yes, we
Yay.
did, and
It
that
was
is our
a
feedback.
great episode.
That was a great conversation.
Yeah,
well,
it really
every
was.
time we
Always.
have him on,
Oh my gosh.
it is a great conversation.
And there's always something we learn.
I just love Katie Edwards to no end.
And something we drag out of him that
Yeah.
is always interesting.
Yep.
And if you want to leave a comment on anything that we publish, whether it be one of our articles or one of our episodes, you can do that on our Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram. You can even comment on the episodes on our YouTube or at tggeeks.com. And you can receive a shout out on a future episode like these folks did. We also have a listener feedback line, and we want to hear from you because you are important to us. You can leave a message, and we will play your comment on air. You can call 469-TG Geeks. That is 469-844-3357. And as always, please play nice.
For more than 2 decades, Judy and Dennis Shepard have honored their son Matt by working to erase hate around the world. The Matthew Shepard Foundation honors his legacy by inspiring the good work of activists, teachers, artists, and legislators, and everyday LGBTQ+ folks and their allies. Join us today in helping to erase hate. Visit MatthewShepard.org.
Thank you to Comcast NBC Universal for that promo. Well, this is our normal shout out for independent creators, whether they be filmmakers, comic book artists, writers, or others. Please chat them up. Go to their websites, go to their Etsy pages, go to their Facebook pages, go Twitter, Instagram, wherever you find them, TikTok or whatever. Check them out. Chat them up. Chat other people up about their stuff. Look at their stuff. Buy their stuff. And if you are at a con, please have cash for them. It really helps them. They don't have to pay those extra credit card fees that they never charge you for. They always pay it out of their own pocket. And please consider supporting independent creators. If you are trans or are questioning your gender identity, and if you are in crisis or are feeling isolated and need someone to talk to, or you know of someone in a similar situation, there is a special hotline just for you. The hotline is provided by translifeline.org and staffed by trained counselors who are transgender themselves. The hotline in the U.S. is 877-565-8860. In Canada, it is 877-330-6366. Or you can go to translifeline.org to learn about the important work they are doing. Please reach out for help. You are not alone.
Yeah, baby. They're like two gay geeks. They're together, you know. They're two gay guys and they're geeks. Is that okay?
Well, it's time for our second segment, and a couple of things. One show has ended for the season, while another one has come back. So let me throw this to you. This was the first time you actually got to watch a season of Star Trek Lower Decks.
It was interesting. It was very interesting. I think I may have to go back and watch some of the pre-episodes to fill in the gaps of some of the knowledge.
We can definitely skip the first few episodes because those are the ones that we just didn't like. They were way too manic. But I think around like episode 4, I think is when it starts to settle down and it becomes easier to take in.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did enjoy it. So also we have Star Trek Prodigy. That has come back.
Yes. And I still think it's still pretty strong. This most recent episode was it kind of lagged for me a little bit, but you know, that's just me personally. So it was a good episode, but it didn't strike a chord like all the other episodes have with me. But I do like the series, and I think it's very exciting where they're going.
Yeah, the thing that I noticed when the series came back, and I think that was last week, I think, what amazes me is that this was a show that was engineered for families.
Right.
Kids could watch it with their adults, and it was supposed to serve as a nice gateway into the greater Star Trek universe. Yet, the tone of this series is surprisingly mature.
Mm-hmm.
I was very, very impressed with how strong this series returned, and just right out of the gate, it was just very powerful.
Yeah,
I love the show. I truly do.
Too.
And each of the characters has really grown on me
Absolutely.
in a big way. I've become really fond of Zero, the Medusa.
Yeah.
I become very fond of him. He's a really sensitive character.
Yeah.
I like what they're doing with him. He could be the breakout character of the entire series. It's hard to say. I love it. And they're kind of toying with us regarding the mystery.
Yes.
As we're seeing more of Admiral Janeway. Spoilers.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to seeing where this show goes, and to think that we're still only in season 1.
I know.
That's amazing.
Exactly.
I'm really excited for where this show's going to go.
I'm excited.
And it's time for our weekly review. These are items that we ran on our website this past week at tggeeks.com, and the links for each of these articles will be in the show notes for this episode, article number 403, that you can find at tggeeks.com, starting with Sunday, October 30th, Nerdy Chupacabras number 124 on Monday the 31st, TG Geeks episode number 402 on Tuesday, November 1st. Willow streams on Disney Plus in 1 month. On Wednesday the 2nd, AFM opens with exhibitors and buyers from 70-plus countries. Wow! On Thursday the 3rd, Andrea's Angle, Armageddon Time, brilliant coming-of-age story. On Friday the 4th, Hamish Downey's playlist for November, as well as Andrea's Angle, Goodnight Oppie, sublime depiction of human endeavor, and that is about the rover Oppenheimer. Is that the Oppenheimers? What do they call it?
Opportunity.
Opportunity.
Yeah.
Duh. And also we close off with Saturday the 5th, This Got Made, and that is what we ran on our website this past week. We have some shout-outs that we need to make. First to Brian Weber, our good friend Arkle. You got a little bit of a... Did we have feedback from him earlier or not? I can't remember now. Not this week. No, not this week.
We have some. But...
Oh, yeah, we do definitely have some coming up. I know that. Anyway, he is on Twitter as Geek of All Trades, also referred to as Arklevania65000. And we mentioned him because he's got his Arkle Times Post-Dispatch News, which does republish some of our content from time to time. And if you want to find the Post-Dispatch News, you need to go to Twitter to find him. And to do that, you need to search for Geek of All Trades. And geek is spelled the letter G, the number 3, the number 3, the letter K of all trades. And while you're looking for all things Arkle, go to his YouTube channel. That will be youtube.com/Arkle Studios for the plethora of projects that you can find there.
Yeah, he's back to Brian the ampersand list YouTuber.
Oh, he went back. Oh, probably because
he did.
Halloween is over.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's Brian the ampersand list YouTuber. How dare you, Arkle? You're messing with you're just messing with my thing here.
Messing with our script.
Right. We must also give some shout outs to a couple of Facebook groups for allowing us to post our episodes and articles on their pages. First, Two Gay Geeks After Hours. Have to give their moderators a big shout out for saying that we could share away our content there. And their URL is facebook.com/groups/The Gay Geek. That's all one word. And we must also give some shout outs. Oh, yeah?
That was Gay Geek.
Oh, God. I got that wrong, didn't I?
Gay Geeks After Hours.
Whoops. Okay. So let me do that again. Their URL is facebook.com/group/Gay Geeks After Hours. I looked at the wrong part of the script.
Yeah, exactly.
Then...
then...
And then to The Gay Geek for the same thing. And their URL is facebook.com/group/Gay Geeks After Hours. No, it's not.
The Gay
It's
Geek.
facebook.com/group/The Gay Geek. And as always, we give special thanks to their moderator, Jeremiah Reeves.
And other places we can be found are Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Amazon Podcasts, as well as where other fine podcasts can be found. Also, check us out on Sci-Fi Radio at 3 a.m. and 3 p.m. Pacific Time on Tuesdays for a replay of the show. And listen to their other content. They are a 24-hour geeky internet radio station. Please rate us and review us on iTunes. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And that should do it for this episode of TG Geeks Webcast. Be sure to check out the article for this webcast episode. We will have several links on the page of things we talked about. And remember, you can comment on our Facebook page or our website, tggeeks.com, or you can leave us a voicemail at 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357. From TG Squared Studios, I'm Keith Lane. Thanks for listening. Live and be your authentic self, no matter what the world tells you. Please be kind to yourself and those around you. Stay safe, wear a mask, get vaccinated. Peace.
Cheers.